good afternoon. How is everybody doing? I want to say I am so delighted to be in the studio today. Yes, say hey. I'm in here with my little granddaughter, Kiari, and this is the Morris Media Studios right in the city of Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. And I'm so delighted to be here live with you all with the Wednesdays Woman Show. Well, Wednesdays Woman, we give honor to the women of the struggle, women who have paved the way for other women to get free from the struggle. So, without any further ado, I'm going to bring our guest on because we have guests all the way from South Africa. And I don't mean they're just, in the country. One of them is here in America, but the other one is literally in South Africa, 10 hours time difference. So we want to definitely welcome Miss Busi all the way from South Africa. Busi, come on in. Yes.
Good evening. Good morning in the US. In South Africa, it's good evening. My name is Busi, and I'm a young activist and I'm a politician. I work for the National Office as a young women's desk and a young in the ANC Women's League.
All right.
I work mostly with the Free State province. I administrate all the programs that are based on Free State. Especially as those that mostly comes with women's program, young women's program.
Okay.
And I'm also a national subcommittee on GPV. National committee, we always work with most women who are a victim of GPV, and we also work with women that have also been killed with the cases, and we always follow up with those cases and know what's happening on those cases.
Well, I'm going to hold you up for just a moment because I want to also bring in Miss Lethabo. And Miss Lethabo, who I recently met, who is in America, and she's been studying and has done some great work in film. So I'm going to bring her on because this is how I have come to know Miss Busi. So Lethabo.
Hi, everyone. So thankful to be here. Thank you so much, Crystal, for hosting us today.
Yes.
Those that don't know me, my name is Lethabo. I am from South Africa, but I am currently here in Los Angeles. I recently graduated from the New York Film Academy, December last year.
Congratulations.
And I have been basically basing my field of work to represent untold stories of women, particularly based in African continents, that have suffered traumatic incidences in their lives. And one of my recent projects that I worked on touches on the female genitalia mutilation that was practiced in Ethiopia, and it is a true story. So that's just something that I do on the entertainment side. But I am thankful to be here, Crystal. Nice to meet you, Busi.
Nice to meet you guys.
So now talk to me, Lethabo, tell me, how did you come to know Miss Busi and the work that you've done with Busi?
So I met Busi, I think it was 2015. I met you through a mutual friend.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was 2015 and I met you through a mutual friend. It was like a friends gathering. That's how I knew Busi, but I didn't know that Busi was working in line of, the ANC Women's League. For those that don't know what ANC Women's League is, it's basically one of our leading political parties in South Africa, which is called African National Congress, which was the first party to have Nelson Mandela lead as the president. So that's the ANC Women's League, which is the one Busi's currently under. And yeah, so we continued a friendship for a while, and I was thankful as well last year that Busi asked me to give a speech as a guest speaker for the South African Heritage Day month last year. So that's what we kind of formed our friendship. to
Excellent.
not just friends outside, but also working, to better women, especially in our communities back in South Africa.
That's excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
So again, I want you to read Busi's bio, Lethabo, because I want to make clear for those who are listening how important she is and what she's done.
Mhm. All right.
Important.
I have it right here. So Busi, Busi Dumakude is a South African young politician born and raised in Johannesburg, Gauteng. She is a politician and works for the national office called Lutile House under the ANC Women's League. As I mentioned, ANC Women's League was the African National Congress. She administrates all work programs for the Free State Province, also works under the GBV National Subcommittee. For those that are not familiar with what GBV is basically gender-based violence that a lot of women in South Africa face. If you are not aware, a lot of South African women suffer from crucial gender-based violence from their husbands, uncles, fathers, whoever they are in relationships with. And this is a movement that started after several cases of women dying from gender-based violence. Most women were not able to come out because traditionally, as cultural women, you're not able, or you're not allowed to come out with such cases because it is looked at as you going against your family or the man's family. So thankful enough that there was an organization designed to help support these women. Some of these women are even encouraged to move out of their homes. They're given shelters to go live in. So thank you so much, Busi, for being under this committee and, serving for women that are not able to stand up for themselves.
Amazing.
Apart from that, Busi also works with actors and musicians, and she helps organize events and day-to-day appearances. Busi's passion for being a politician started with a very humble and encouragement from the late Winnie Madikizela Mandela, who those that are not familiar with her is Nelson Mandela's late wife.
Amazing.
So yes,
That's great. That's beautiful.
Busi. One of her highlights, she graduated from Human Resource Management from the University of Witwatersrand in 2012. She also she got her quality management certificate from the University of Pretoria and is now under the Feminist University of South Africa till current.
Wow, that's
It's
amazing.
beautiful,
Congratulations.
beautiful
Yes.
bio.
And I want to say congratulations to both of you. Now, before we go into what the ANC has done, I want to basically talk about what is your current purpose right now. How can we support you here in America? How can those that are in other countries as well that will be seeing this support what you're doing? What do you need? And this is for Busi. What do you need right now? Busi. Say it right. Busi. Okay.
Yes. Mr. Busi, right now we actually facing a lot of challenges when it comes to data, internet, Wi-Fi, because most of the young South African women are not working. There's so much unemployment, of which COVID had caused so much impact on it. Besides COVID, and there was really a hard time for South Africans, especially women, and there's a lot of high teenage pregnancy. In these days, we actually not even know what to do in this current moment, because we were speaking about it yesterday in a meeting that what can we do, since tomorrow is the 16th June. We'll be celebrating and honor those who fought for us and fought for this liberation and struggle in South Africa. But there's some more lot of things that and challenges that of we face, especially in rural areas. There's so much lack of resources, but we've been speaking, and we haven't in fact implement anything as yet. But tomorrow there's a lot of deployment. It's all of us. We're going around South Africa. There's those who are going to KZN. There's those who are going to Free State. There's those who are going to Northwest. There's those who are going to Cape Town to speak mostly about the GBV. Hence, we've been facing a lot of GBV topics these days, and there's so much that we are struggling with, especially with women. They cannot speak out when it comes to this kind of GBV. We've been trying to encouraging women to speak out and encouraging women to stand up from themselves, but we are struggling based on those things. Okay. So those are the main factors that we are still struggling in South Africa with, especially when it comes to women and young girls.
Okay, so you said the gender-based violence, the GBV.
Yes, the GBV.
You're struggling with that, and you said you need the social media. You have no Wi-Fi. There's no telecommunication, no opportunities for them to receive information. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, yes. Mostly in rural areas, or either, yes, in Johannesburg, mostly. Some of us, they are spaces where they can get free data, free space where there's government areas where you can go for free data, especially in libraries and clinics, there's free data. But rural areas, they suffer a lot because most of our programs, we do it online since there's this COVID, and in rural areas, they can't afford and access all the programs that we do, and we have to go through them, and there's no resources. These days, we are struggling a lot. In fact, there's no budget in anything that we do. We do it through donations and all that, but it's very, very tough.
Okay, so how can one send and get a donation to you?
And with that, I will have to speak with my superiors that how can we get donation and how to especially to sustain those donation, and how do we use it, and what are the budgets for each in every province, because they have 9 provinces in South Africa right now. So we have to know which province needs what, and how much they need, so that we have strategy on what we have to do and develop and give all the people that everything they need. Okay. So that nobody will say tomorrow we are left out, we didn't get anything. So that's why we have to strategize everything.
Okay.
So yeah, but tomorrow, because all of us were being deployed, I've been deployed in Northwest, so I think we'll communicate via Zoom on what should we do going forward. I'll let them know, because I told them that I'll be live in US, so they said they can't, because some of them, they'll be waking up now at 2, so they can't log in. So they said they need to rest for tomorrow.
Okay, well, definitely. Yes. This show will be available on YouTube to be re-seen again. It'll be rebroadcast on YouTube, as well as all of our shows. And so it's under the morrismedia.com. We'll show that. We'll have that. It's on the flyer that we sent.
Okay. Thank you.
So you're very welcome. Now, I don't want to take too much more of your time, because you said you have to go to sleep so you can get up, because it's 10 hours ahead right there. But I want you to know I appreciate you highly for staying up to be on this show. And tomorrow, for 2 days, I know we talked about it, Lethabo and I, the Uprising in Soweto. They did a movie about it, Serafina. Do you want to give a brief history of that? You want to talk about that? I think we have some photos to share as well from the actual scene.
And that movie, they were playing up the 16th June and Uprising. They were showing what young students were fighting for in South Africa. They were fighting for liberation. They were fighting for struggle. They were fighting for apartheid. They were fighting for freedom that we are actually bearing today, they actually were even enjoying today, and they were even fighting for the non-racial, non-sexist, and the democratic country that we are living at now. And it was very, very, in fact, June 16 is one of the day that is very, very, I would say, very emotional to speak about, because in this day on earth, most teenagers, they in fact, they don't really read about history. They don't, look back on where we come from. They don't know what's really, really happening in this country. They ignore the struggle. They ignore most of the things they in fact, they're enjoying today. They are free today because of these people that they fought for us. They Hector Peterson. If you go to Soweto, there's a lot of them. They had honored them. There's a park that called Hector Peterson. There's a lot of history around Soweto. If you go to Soweto, there's a lot of things that reminds you of where we come from as South Africans. Okay. So we were also speaking about that we have to remind the youth of today where we come from. They shouldn't just enjoy the day with drinking and just enjoying and going to dancing and whatever. They should enjoy this day by recognizing the youth of 1976,
yes,
of what they did for us. In fact, to speak to you now, it was in fact about them, because I wouldn't able to, because white people were ruling the country. They were not even recognizing the blacks. They were not even want blacks to take part on anything. Even the Nelson Mandela of this country were fought for us, but most the youth today, they don't even recognize that. So we want to try to bring back what was done before, to show them and to remind them, so that they know tomorrow what should they do and what should they fight for, because the future is youth, future is women in this country. That's why we always say women is future, women is president.
That's okay. So 1976 in Soweto, South Africa,
yes.
Over 1,000 or about close to 1,000 students were killed by the white police there because they were protesting against the apartheid, against the evil, the denial of the proper education. And so they took to the streets. They said, we're not going to school. We're going to go out here and let you know you're not right. It's not fair. And they began to open fire on them.
On them, yes. Most of the students died. It was a very, very emotional day. When we look at it and read about it, it brings a lot of pain. It brings a lot of I can't even explain it, because we today speak about it, but we don't even know really what happens. But when we get to be told, I was so lucky to meet Mama Winnie, because Mama Winnie was the one that encouraged me to do all the things that I'm doing today. I always remember her by doing the correct things, because she wasn't the woman that wants to be ruled by white people. She always fought for everything. She always believed that black people can do what white people can do. So I'm so fortunate even today to speak about her. I'm so fortunate, and you to Lethabo to even recognize me to take part in this time and day, and also you, Maurice. Thank you so much.
Okay, sweetie.
For even giving us opportunity to speak about South Africa. Even the US know about our history.
Yes.
Even though it's not much, but probably they would have highlights on what's happening and what is going to happen. And I'm so grateful about that. Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome, sweetheart. And I myself, I desire to support, so I'll make sure I work with Lethabo so we can get something, funding, any other kind of products that we can get our hands on, and we can get them sent through Lethabo.
Yes, that would be very grateful.
Okay.
We'll be very grateful for that. Lethabo knows all my contacts. She's on my social media. I think she also knows my email address, my numbers. She's got everything. We've been friends for a long time.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, dear heart, go ahead and get you some sleep. I don't know if it's going to be easy for you to go to sleep with the excitement, but get you
I'm so
some sleep.
excited.
Get you some sleep and know that you are loved, and we're going to do our part to support. I was 16 years old during that time, and we didn't know
Wow.
about it
And you look
until
so young.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm 62 this summer. I'm telling people because I feel
Wow.
even at my age, we still have to be available to support the younger generations.
Yes,
Like this little one here,
yes.
she'll be 5 in August.
Oh,
So
Wow.
she's first time in the
So
studio. I'm sure
cute.
she's learning something. Would you like to say
Yeah,
something?
she must learn.
What would you like to say? Okay. Anyway, Spider-Man is not here today. So, but I do want to thank you, sweetheart. Go ahead and take your rest. And Lethabo,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome, sugar. Tell them
bye.
all
Good
we look
night.
forward to supporting them. We do music, we do different things in all the areas that we can do, okay? Because that's our job, to be able to be the
That's,
go-to women for whatever is needed. That's a Wednesday's woman, okay?
thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Have
I'll
a good
always
night.
log in on the other times so that I can learn more on what you do. Thank you so much.
You're
I'm
welcome,
so
sugar.
honored. Good night.
God, praise
Good
God.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
So, Lethabo, talk to us. Tell us what is missing. What can we do to fulfill the missing links?
Missing links, the missing links. Wow. So just like what Busi has shared, touching on the Youth Day, remembering the people that fought for us in South Africa is something that I see now. Not a lot of people are aware of that in South Africa, especially. And now, when you talk about how, when you were 16 and you also had no idea of what was happening at the same time, it's something that we do want to spread awareness of, even now, because a lot of students right now just look at it as, oh, well, it happened a while back, it's not like it's happening now. But the pain that our ancestors and our parents went through, they lived through that. So I think most importantly, still talking about this, because back in the days, as well, when we were taught in history, or like when our parents would tell us the reason why the Youth Day was happening, or like the Soweto Uprising was happening, it was because of the Bantu education that the Black students were given. They could only just learn English and Afrikaans. They could not learn their own languages. Everything was supposed to be taught in Afrikaans. They were only taught labor studies, so carpenting, so like all the stuff that the white students were not learning, whereas the white students were learning business, science, stuff to like better them. So the students were like, no, we are going to protest against this, So it is a shame that when you look at now our youth back home, and I know they call them the Gen Zs, right? But for them, they, not all, but most of them say, oh, well, it's something that happened a while back. It's not like it's happening now. So they forgetting, or like they detached from the history of what made us, because it's because of them that we are able to be here today, have all these opportunities. They fought for us. So I think definitely having that recognition or that awareness, still celebrating, all these historical events that happened to our people. And I know it's so interesting how we have June 16 in South Africa, and learning that you guys also have your Juneteenth.
Yes, yes.
So it's so interesting that we both have this whole historical event and we celebrate them at the same time.
In the month of June. Yeah,
The month of-
June represents a great deal of celebration and honor for us as a people. Juneteenth represents, the slaves that were in Galveston, Texas, that got the news about 6 months later that they were free. Slavery was no longer the thing. It was emancipated. It was abolished. So they didn't get the news until 6 months later. So, with it being a national holiday, some people still don't feel that, why I wasn't in Texas, my people weren't in Texas. I don't know nothing about that. But the fact is, what suffers one basically suffers all. We all basically are under some type of a bondage because of our race, our gender, our positioning, our status, religion. This is just the hierarchies in the world just creates that environment. So it's just a good thing for us to come together, bring love, bring unity wherever we can, bring support, because we never know what we can do to make someone feel better about their self or their condition. And so June represents Black Music Month. So, the artists of Motown, the artists of all of the major labels have a lot to play because our souls are vibing off of music that was generated, from that Black soul, that Black culture of music. It was just down, 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 make you feel good, make you think about it. Ha! So we give honor to, the musicians, the creative beings, because they really give us the message. And we are needing our musicians to bring us a message of hope, bring us a message of love like we used to get in the 60s and the 70s. We got great songs back in the day that made us feel good. We wanted to dance and hold each other close and, oh, yes, and I'm in love and, oh, my God. So even our gospel music had, more of a strength and a meaning to it. It made us think about it. Now everything is, just popping and you don't really quite understand the message. And it's not really saying, if you say talking loud and saying nothing. So we need some good musicians and writers. Bring us some good content that we can produce a better message. So now you have some skills, and I heard it said Busi has her opportunity to work with musicians and actors. I don't know if you know about that, but talk. Maybe we can connect some of our musicians and actors for the cause in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I think we will need to discuss that with Busi since that's in her field. She knows a lot of South African actors, musicians, people in the industry. So that will be a great way, to connect the two and have that collaboration going. That's a great idea.
Yeah. And so with you being here in the United States, California to be exact, we can definitely get together because what we're looking at now is the base of music and artistry, acting, and things of that nature. So we'll definitely cross connect on what we are doing with our subject matters. And so if you want to talk a little bit more about what you're doing and what you may be in need of yourself, I don't know you could do that right now because this is your opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, dear.
So, as I mentioned, I recently produced, wrote, and directed a short film that is now currently going in festivals. I will be screening next month at the Michelle Film Festival. I am so honored for that. I am a semi-finalist at the Black Panther Film Festival as well. And basically, the film I recently done, it's based on female genitalia mutilation that has been practiced in Ethiopia.
Yes.
So it is an Ethiopian themed film, Amharic language speaking film based on a true story about a young girl who gets tricked by her mom to go for a purification ritual, which ended up being a circumcision ritual.
Oh my gosh.
And I know most people, when I talked about this film, they were kind of surprised that, is this something that's still happening even today?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is something that is practiced as a traditional practice.
Oh,
A lot of women are not told that this thing is wrong. So I remember when I met my main actress, she even told me, she was like, before I worked on this film, I did not know that this was a wrong thing. It was a culture. It was a cultural thing that every young girl has to go through, to be introduced into womanhood. And not not a lot of young girls make it alive, sadly, because in some cultures, there's no proper or clean way of doing this whole circumcision thing. I know in the Samburu culture, which is from Kenya, they have their sacrificial ritual where they would circumcise the girl, and they use one blade on every single girl, and the girl would have to like bleed on a rock, as a form of sacrifice. That blood is seen as a sacrifice, right, for her womanhood. And they later on sew their private parts. So hearing that and doing those research, I was so passionate, to start a course on this, even though it is there. I know the United Nations have the FGM movement, but I still feel like it's not enough. I feel like it is still practiced today. There's not enough people talking about this, and that's why I wanted to do a film about this type of topic. What I need is basically support in having this transformed into a feature film or an episodic documentary feature, where we kind of like go into detail with this whole practice from start to finish, because some cultures see it as a religious practice. Some see it as just a purification practice for young girls born into womanhood. Different cultures, different countries in Africa practice it differently. So it is something that I do want to educate people on, especially women, and reach out to the women that have been through this, hear their stories. So that is the help I would like to get for
That's
this.
deep. I'm going to read this again. Well, I didn't read the whole thing, but I give honor to women of the struggle, women who have passed on a legacy to those who remain true to the game to end the struggle. I give honor to the millennium woman, or the millennial woman, a woman on a mission, a woman on a quest to be and do her best. A woman who owns and wears many hats. In fact, that woman is the Wednesday's woman. She's the daughter, the sister, the girlfriend, the wife, the mother, the teacher, the miracle worker, the driver, the lender, the tender, the keeper of the covenant of love. Wednesday's woman holds the key for all humanity. She's a believer that flows with universal liberty. She lives in peace with all nature in harmony. She is the woman that cries in the midnight hour, wailing for the souls of them that are lost. She is the woman that reaches out to the poor and needy and enjoys the fruit of her labor, no matter the cost. Go forth, my sister. Rule, you queens. Possess your territory. Walk a mile to your dream. Give glory to the Most High. Hallelujah. And enjoy that real stand up and make a difference. Testify. Stay tuned in with your mind and get ready to soar to higher heights. You are Wednesday's woman, created in godliness for all to see. With love and honor, I salute you this day, your sister, in the name of the Most High, Wednesday's woman for life. So I dedicate that to you, Lethabo, and Busi, and Winnie Mandela, the late, great Winnie Mandela, the wife of Nelson Mandela, and all of the sisters that are working currently with the ANC Women's League, and those who are there in South Africa, those students who died and lost their life during that 1976 Soweto Uprising, because we didn't want to take no more. Reminds me of some of those here in the United States who had to stand up around that same year in the 70s. It was a big cultural change in the 70s. People stood up. James Brown was out. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. It was a real fight for the rights of people that had seemed to have been stripped of their human rights. So today, not only we give honor, do we give honor to the women, but we seek to support the women. And now we are definitely in touch, not only because of the internet, but even before. People were in touch with others over in Africa, South Africa, West Africa, East Africa. And they were doing different things, traveling and trading. So here we are today, June the 15th, 2022, still talking about the problems, still talking about the struggles that are alive and going on today. Women, domestic violence is what they call it here in the United States. So these are some things that we can connect and communicate and bridge the gaps, close the gaps, give support to each other. There's a lot of millionaires in this country. I'm sure in both countries, there's a lot of millionaires and billionaires. And so we hope and pray to touch their hearts, because it's enough. And I heard one sister say, God is saying, I've drawn the line. Enough is enough. And he's soon to come and gather his people. What does that look like? What does that mean? What's going to happen? We don't know. But we want to stand ready and stand with love in our hearts, faith, hope, and just a desire to do more for ourselves, more for our communities, more for our families than we've ever done before. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to get our next few minutes together, and we'll probably read some more poetry and give honor to some of our business sponsors, and then show you how you can be a part of this show. If you'd like to, we'll give that information when we return, okay? All right, we'll be right back.
In all
that's what I'm going to say. Trust in the Lord our God, the creator of all, the creator of life, the universe, and all that we know, see, hear, have ever dealt with. Trust the creator and begin to look up. Don't look down. Don't think that it's all over and we have nothing else to do but to give up and give in. No. Think that the evil and the wickedness is all over, and think that the hope and the joy and the love of seeing a brand new day of joy and peace is on the horizon. It's at the door. It's right there. So look up and live. It's not over. Not what you think. Life in its fullness and its vibrancy is just beginning for some. So you be one of those that say, no, I'm saying no and goodbye to an old evil way, and hello and welcome to a wonderful life of love, pure love, generating more love and unity within our families and community. So Wednesday's Woman started 7 or so years ago as a show scheduled to be a one-woman show, and it turned into a weekly internet television show. We were on RMC at that time, and our dear friend and my personal, I would say my confidant, and he left me in 2018, Mr. Johnny Morris. He helped me a lot with Wednesday's Woman. He gave me a platform. I think it was in 2014, he gave Wednesday's Woman a platform. Every Wednesday I came on with my show, and it was a variety show much like this. And this is his daughter's studio, and he's very responsible for this studio. He raised her in that industry of music and entertainment, and she loved it, radio and broadcasting, and she's just like her dad, following in her dad's footsteps. So I want to give honor to you, Felicia, too, because, without women that see, have a vision and an opportunity, and it's sometimes we don't get it. If someone else doesn't get it and bring us to it, we may not ever get it. So I'm thankful that she saw that opportunity within her dad, and he saw that within his daughter, and he opened that door and taught her everything he knows. So we give honor again to Wednesday's Woman. And there's a scripture in Proverbs 31:31. It says, give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So the work that a Wednesday's Woman does is that which will bring her into not only great wealth, but great support. And so we want to talk about the show. Lethabo is a film director and a producer, and she was introduced to me by Harold Brown, also in television broadcast, film director as well. And I think he went to New York. Oh my God, we'll have to talk about that. So he introduced me to her just last week, and I said, oh my God, I need her. So Lethabo has agreed to come and work with me and help produce the Wednesday's Woman show for a staged show. So Lethabo, talk about some of the things that you see that I need to do and any other person would need to do to get their show from concept to stage.
Ooh. Well, Crystal, I am so excited I met you. And as soon as Crystal told me about the one woman show, I was like, Crystal, we need to take this further on. I already saw the vision you had. The minute you pitched to me your poems and, everything you do in your studio. And I was like, I want to take on the opportunity of being your producer, looking for a network. And this is for anyone who's interested in having their project on any network. The first thing you're going to need is to have a producer, someone who works with content, someone who has knowledge on how to, go about having your proposal sent to an executive producer who can be your sponsor or buy in your show to have a spot in either any network that they have on TV. And as soon as we discussed this, I told Crystal that I would see this on either I don't know if I should share this, Crystal. Should I share it with them? Which
Ah,
network?
don't tell them. Don't tell them. Just
Don't tell them
just keep
yet.
it a
Okay.
secret.
Okay. So let's keep that a secret. Let's keep that a secret.
Keep it a secret.
Keep it a secret. But this is for anyone who, wants to get their project started, or any aspiring producer. The first thing you need to have is obviously concept, right? You need a concept. Um, then you get either creative producer or a concept producer or content producer who can help you, with having an idea pitched to a network that you are interested in going to, or looking at which networks would fit your project. That's obviously a lot of research, so you definitely need to have someone you can trust as well, someone who will also tell you the right things, not someone who's going to just sell you an idea and then run away with your stuff. But the main thing is having your ideas copywritten. I feel like that is important, especially now that studios are not taking, unsolidified projects anymore. So you definitely need to have copywritten work. If you don't have an agent who's standing in as your acting, to send your work, you definitely need to work with someone who you can trust. I think that goes a long way, for like the future of your project, because you are going to be, you know, having to see this person every single day. You're going to have to negotiate. And if you don't like what they say, you have to have the room,
It's gonna be
for
tough.
disappointment at some point. But yes, Crystal, I think I answered your question. Did I? Or
Yes, you
did
did. You're great.
okay.
I just want you to
I feel
know
like I
you
rambled
are
off.
good, sweetie. You're a good representative. You know your stuff. And I'm very delighted. I feel, again, this is a divine appointment by the Most High God for you to come into my life at this time and be excited about something that I've done. And it's not that others have not been excited. It's just sometimes the right people have not entered into your room, your presence to take you to the next level. And I feel this is the time. So Wednesday's Woman is actually a collection, a classic collection, because these things came in the 90s. It's a classic collection of poetry, affirmations, and songs. So it's going to be quite a scene. And so I'm looking forward to taking it to the stage and then taking it to the bright lights, as they say, and being on a network as a reality weekly show, because I think it definitely has opportunities to bring in more and more people, more and more women, and just begin to focus on that woman that has all of these, similar goals and traits and creative attributes that we want to really give women that stage, because that's what really it's all about, giving people a platform, women, men, and children, a platform to be who they are and allow their creative zone to just blossom, because to me, that's where God is. He gave us a gift, He gave us talents, He gave us abilities, and some of those cannot be taught. You can't go to school and learn what some people know innately, because it was spiritually, downloaded into them. It was spiritually given. So that means you're a messenger. You're a messenger of God. And that means you're very important to the time and the culture that you come into, because you have to be within your season in order to be received and implemented right. And that was the question I was going to ask you. When do you know, or how many, what does it take, how many people, how many times, when do you know that change has come or change is here because of the apartheid situation, the things happening here? When do we know that change has come?
Hmm. When do we know when? That is a very good question.
Okay.
Um, and I just want you to elaborate more when you say, when do we know that change has come? Is it touching on the apartheid movement, or just moving away from that, but knowing change for yourself as an
I
individual
think in general,
in general?
and definitely with the struggles, because we have struggles across the world. And when do we know the changes come? When we see the difference? Because we don't want something to say, okay, well, we're changing today, and then next week or next year it's back at that same thing again. That's not change. That's just putting a Band-Aid on something. We want complete, total change. So that's probably a question we'll have to take to some person who has studied and has all of this in their material. But I want you to give your information, Lethabo, on how to reach Busi and yourself, because your emails or whatever you have available, we want to make sure people are able to reach Busi and also be able to reach you. Now, you all don't try to give her any more projects. She's working on mine, and she has another one ahead of mine. So I'm sure she's not going to allow anybody to come in and bombard her time. No, and I'm sure money is not going to be the key either. So just wait your turn. Okay, so leave some information on how to reach you.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram as well. I think that's the main platform that everyone would, because people want to know what your work, right? They want to see what you do.
Yes.
So thank the Lord that we have such platforms where you can, obviously see my stuff. My email is also on Instagram. So it would be my first name, which is Lethabo. So it's Lethabo, and then period MOKG. And the number is 26@gmail.com. So that is my email address. And my social media handle on Instagram, it is Lethabo as well, my first name, _ MKG.
All right. All right. That's a beautiful speaking lady. I love the way you speak. You speak very well, very well. And I'm sure you have, how many languages do you speak?
Wow. I get asked this question every day.
What?
Since I've been in America, yeah. I speak 8 languages.
Oh my gosh.
That's, also because I come from a very diverse African background.
Okay.
And literally almost everyone in my family is from different cultures. So growing up, we kind of had to know every family's language. So whenever you'd go visit, and I used to hate it so much because I'm Tswana, I'm South African Tswana. So my dialect is originally from Botswana. So my ancestors moved to South Africa a long time ago. So that's how I became South Africans one, if I should say. But my dad's family, they are different. They are also part Venda, part Afrikaans. So I have that, mix from them. And then I have Zulu in my family, Zulu speaking people, Xhosa speaking people, Ndebele speaking people, Shona, Shangan. So it's basically out of the 11 official languages, I'll say I speak 8.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That's beautiful, sweetheart. Beautiful. And I mean, I can speak one and maybe some Ebonics, so that would, register as 2.
Yeah.
So, and then we play with Paquito and all that kind of stuff, but fluently, English. And, not to say anything against it, it's just where we are trained and how our families and, generations have trained and made sure they kept the cultures that they, have been raised in alive. So now on my Instagram, it's Crystal Davis Wells, and that's Crystal with a C, like the glass, CRYSTAL, Davis Wells, WELLS. Would love to have you as a friend and a follower, however it goes. I'm not on it as much, however, I'm getting better. But we want to keep up with you all, and we want everybody to know that this is a time and a season for us to really come together and communicate across the waters, across the land. So without any further ado, do you have any closing remarks you'd like to give, Lethabo?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me today, Crystal. Thanks for allowing us as well to share our history, our South African history. We hope that, we'll get more supporters as from today, people that are interested to also bring a change, for young Black women. And just thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, dear. It's really my pleasure and an honor to have you not only as a guest, but to have you as my producer. That's major. You understand? That is really major, and I'm very excited about that. So as we get things together, we'll make other announcements and have presentation flyers to invite you to the performances. My birthday is coming up in the month of June. No, in July. My baby girl's birthday is June 24th. Little Kiari, my granddaughter, is graduating on that same day from preschool, going into kindergarten, and they may skip her to first grade because she's really smart. Yes, you can go to the party. We're going to have a party for her and her mom on June 24th. And then I'm going to start in the month of July celebrating with my great uncle, my late great uncle, Robert Nelson, Uncle Bobby Cool, on July the 10th. And then my husband, Sonny Wells, and I have to say the late, great Sonny Wells, some of y'all don't know, he passed December 22nd, 2021. And I tell you, it's really interesting to see life now. In my eyes, it's not the same at all. It's not the same. It doesn't feel, oh my God, it's really, you feel the loss. You feel the emptiness. And when you want to talk and share some news or something, they're not there. And the same way I felt about Johnny Morris. Johnny was my confidant. He was my friend. He was my heart because we spent a lot of time in that studio when, before the studio was built over at RMC, we were on KTYM and he was my engineer there. And I met him. He was my engineer in 90, 92, 90 something over at KGFJ. You know what I'm saying? So it's a history there. And when people give you their undivided attention and their ear and their time and their, opportunities to support you, you can't forget that. That's not like, that's major. And I felt God had put him in my life to really help me to be where I am today. So that's going to be for July the 11th, Sonny Wells' birthday. And then my birthday is July the 18th. And then my brother, late, great Willie Davis, my people passed this pretty much these past few years. 2020, April 15th, he passed away. And his birthday is July 24th. So I think we're planning something at the Carson Community Center on that day. And then on my birthday, I think we're going to be at the beach and probably at a few other places. And then probably at the park for Sonny's birthday and my uncle's birthday, just having basketball and barbecue and just a good time. So I want to do as much celebrating this month coming in July that I can because, we never know when our last days are going to be. We just don't know. No matter how healthy we could be or how unhealthy we could be, we never know when our last days are. So I say make the best of every day, every moment, because as we've always heard, tomorrow is not promised. But I thank God for this moment that we have. And so without any further ado, I'm going to say peace and blessings, love, light, and honor. Again, this is the Wednesdays Women Show on the Morris Media Network. Peace and blessings.